Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks so much for coming to watch. It is great to have you all here. So today I'm going to be answering questions. Well, there's one particular question that I've been asked a lot. So basically every summer I kind of lean out a little bit, and a lot of people are asking me sort of what's my, what are my top tips to do this. So I figured I'd go through some of my top tips to lose fat, and hopefully they'll help you all. Obviously the things that help me might not help you, but I'm going to give it a go, and these are some things that have quite a lot of backing in science. So I guess if you want to try and lose fat without counting, I don't count any macros or calories or anything like that, then give these tips a go. So first off, before we do the tips, I just kind of want to just say, like, double check your reasons for doing this, because short-term goals can often lead to short-term results. So whilst it's absolutely fine to be like cutting to fit into a bikini or like a particular dress, whatever, just be aware that these kind of quite quick goals will often not lead to the long-term results that you might be looking for. So I lean out every summer, but it lasts for about 8 months before it gets back into the kind of winter where I lift heavy, eat a lot of food, and at that point I start to gain weight, gain strength, and that's the whole winter season. So I guess my cut starts not on purpose. It kind of starts when it gets warmer, my body feels like it needs less food, I start to eat a little bit less, I have a little bit more energy from the sun, do a little bit more working out, and that starts maybe in May time, April, May, and then continues right through until about October, November time. So yeah, I guess that's a good chunk of the year. Anyway, let's get started with the tips. So the first one is to drink more water. Everyone knows we should be drinking sort of 2+ litres a day. If you're working out really heavy, it should definitely be more, around 3+ litres a day. Our bodies are made mostly up of water, and often we can confuse being thirsty with hunger signals, so you end up eating food when actually your body's just like, no, I just want water, and we just don't really feed it as much water as we should. So if you find water too boring, like maybe stick a little bit of lemon in it, some ginger. I love putting cucumber in my water, just kind of mix it up. If you have one of those bottles that has the little infusion things at the top or the bottom, they're really good as well. My favourite is lemon. You can stick in a green tea bag and maybe a little bit of ginger as well, and it just so good, and it just makes water a little bit more interesting. But yeah, drink loads of water, and that will reduce your hunger signals, so you're not getting confused between being thirsty and being hungry. Next tip, eat plenty of protein. You know, this is peddled in social media a lot. I'm not saying eat more protein, because probably a lot of you already eat enough, but if you're going to be reducing your calorie intake, you should try and keep the protein at the level that it is, because protein keeps us full, it increases muscle growth and recovery, and can just be really helpful when you're kind of going on a little bit of a diet or reducing your food intake, to make sure that your body stays full and keeps performing at its best, basically. So there are obviously, there's obviously lots of protein in meat and fish and eggs, but there are also plenty of plant proteins. So beans, nuts, pulses, like tofu, tempeh, all these kind of things. They don't have to be too expensive, they don't have to be meat substitutes. You can find them basically in any supermarket. Like, beans are super cheap, and have a great amount of protein in them, and also taste great, so win-win. Okay, next up, include plenty of fibre in your food. I know a lot of people are like, no, cut out carbs, cut out carbs. I do not do this. I don't survive without carbs, probably partially because I don't eat meat and fish and dairy, so cutting out carbs means like, what the hell do I eat? So for me, having carbs is like a vital part of losing weight, because it gives you energy. Carbs are energy, but including lots of fibre in that will make sure that you are full like throughout the day. And also fibre, if you think about it, it just fills up space in your stomach, so it kind of keeps you very full. Some sources of fibre include vegetables and whole grain carbs. For example, wholemeal pasta, wholemeal bread, oats, all these things are really great and have all sorts of other benefits as well, and lots of nutrients in them. So for me, I wouldn't cut out carbs. Don't cut out carbs. I just don't get it. I don't think it's sustainable, at least not for me. So eat plenty of carbs, just make sure they're the right kind of carbs. Okay, next one. This one's not so much about the food you're eating, it's just the way you're eating it. So eat mindfully. I know there's a lot of stuff like mindful eating, you know, so important, intuitive eating, all this kind of stuff. I'm not going to say those words because I think they have a lot more different connotations behind them, but you should be paying attention to what you are eating. So when you kind of grab a bag of popcorn or, you know, a cake or like whatever, sit in front of the TV or your work and eat it, you're not paying attention to what's on your plate. So it's actually really difficult for our mind to process the fact that we've just eaten all of that food, because if you think about it, you're stuffing your face whilst sort of looking at something else, so your body doesn't know what you've just eaten. So it is worth, when you're eating slowly, looking at what you're eating and enjoying it. It just really adds to the enjoyment of the food, which means that you're also likely to eat less of it because you feel much more satisfied. Everyone is guilty of sitting down at their desk at work and eating their lunch. I desperately try not to do that, and if I am sitting at my desk, I still try to focus solely on my lunch rather than on the computer or my phone. Okay, number 5, get enough rest. This means sleep and rest days. I obviously, if you know me, I prioritise sleep over pretty much everything else. So I would say, you know, get at least 8 hours sleep a night. I know that's the magic number. Some people need more, some people need less, but it is generally considered that 8 hours is the minimum amount you can have without having negative effects on your body. One of these negative effects is that you will crave food and sugar. Because when our bodies are feeling low on energy, what do? We reach for sugar because that gives us an immediate energy spike. So if you get enough sleep, you're less likely to have cravings, and you're less likely to have cravings that are for sweet and sugary things. Sweet and sugary things are obviously not so good for our diets. So get enough sleep, but also make sure to incorporate rest days. Rest days are when our bodies kind of recuperate, build strength, and they are as important as the actual days that we are exercising. I have about 2 rest days a week. I feel like that's right for me. I've kind of played around with having no rest days, having 3 rest days, 4 rest days. You know, it varies between people, but, you know, find what works for you and try and fit it in, because this is what's going to give your body time to rest and recover and mean that you can really smash out every workout when you get to it. When your body's tired, you're kind of be going half-assed. Even if you don't really feel like you're half-assing it, your body will not be working as hard as it could be if it feels properly rested. Okay, number 6 is my personal favourite. Go on lots of walks. So everyone says, you know, you got to cardio, do LISS, that's low intensity steady state working out. I don't really think of it as any of that. I just think of it as going on walks. As it gets towards the summer, the weather heats up, it gets sunny, the birds start singing, it's absolutely lovely. I cannot recommend enough going for more walks, not just for fat loss, but just general like happiness. It's shown that going outside improves our body image, it increases our like mental stability, we feel happier, lower chance of depression, and obviously all the benefits of exercise, because yes, walking is exercise. So I walk to and from work. I know that this may not be possible for everyone, but if you can get out in your lunch break, do. Go out, have a little bit of a wander around. Even 15 minutes of fast-paced walking is good. I mean, it's better than nothing. Basically, you should just be trying to increase the amount that you're moving during the day. Movement equals calorie burning, but movement also equals happiness. So, you know, it's a win-win. Try and increase the amount you walk. Even if, so say you have to drive to the gym, park a little bit further away, walk that extra distance. It's, you know, it's very different. It's very difficult for me to say like what will work in different people's lives, but for me, I found it works to walk to and from work and walk during my lunch hour. It means that I'm getting in about 3 hours of walking a day, which is kind of ideal for me, and it's just so nice, it's so fun. So I recommend that. Step number 6 is to just walk more. Step number 7, back to the exercise side of things, you should be incorporating heavy lifting. People often think, you know, if I lift heavy, I'm gonna bulk up, I'm gonna like look too muscly. I don't feel like I look too muscly. How do I look? A little bit of muscle? Yes. But I lift heavy about twice a week, and I feel this you know, people are always like cardio, cardio, cardio when you're trying to lose weight, but actually cardio does not increase like the amount that you look like you've toned up. So weightlifting can increase your muscle definition, and it can also lean you out, and it also works a lot more of your body. So for example, if you're doing squats, you're trying to support yourself, that also works your core and your obliques, and it just kind of tones everything rather than just the body part that you're working out. So I would recommend fitting in more heavy lifting. It also continues to burn calories long after you've stopped working out, because our muscles are firing on all cylinders, so it's an extra excuse to eat more afterwards, but obviously be mindful about it. Okay, number 8 is a classic. Try not to eat when you're not hungry. I know some people will say, obviously you should never eat when you're not hungry, and other people will say, you know, don't deprive yourself. This is not what I mean. So basically, if you're eating when you're not hungry, you're probably putting in calories that your body doesn't need. And whilst sometimes that can be worth it for whatever, that donut or, you know, someone's birthday party, that's absolutely fine. Just be aware of what you're doing. And when we're eating when we're not hungry, you're kind of ignoring your body signals. Whereas when you're only eating when you're hungry and stopping when you're full, you're kind of listening to your body signals and encouraging them. So it's just a lot easier to listen to your body when you're not basically eating when you're not hungry and not eating when you're hungry. So that leads well on to the next point. I don't know if I explained that very well, but yeah. The next point is to not deprive yourself. So whilst you shouldn't be eating when you're not hungry, you also shouldn't be depriving yourself of food when you are hungry or feel like you need it. And also this goes for, you know, snacks, sweet treats, anything that you want to have. If you're depriving yourself, you're less likely to stick with whatever diet or lifestyle choice you've made. And if it's not enjoyable, it's probably going to only last for like a month, 2 months, however long your willpower lasts. But for me, this is my lifestyle, and I enjoy it, and the enjoyment factor means that I'm much more likely to stick with it for a much longer period of time. So having the snacks that you want and enjoying them in moderation means that you're less likely to binge in you know, in the future, and also you are less likely to just quit the whole thing altogether and be like, oh, fuck it, you know, I've failed now, I've got to have everything, you know, all this kind of stuff. If I have a pizza, absolutely love it. Like, that, I incorporate that into my diet. It's not like an added extra or like a cheat meal, it's just my diet. So deprivation leads to binging and unhappiness. Binging and unhappiness lead to kind of a fuck it all attitude, and that will not lead to fat loss. So basically, don't deprive yourself. Your body deserves you being friendly to it. So yeah, just make sure whatever you're doing is enjoyable, which leads to the next one, which is do what you enjoy. This goes for the diet and exercise. So deprivation diets, like I said, do not work, because I mean, there is no proven diet that actually leads to long-term weight loss other than just sort of a balanced diet. And a balanced diet includes not depriving yourself. And then with exercise, doing what you enjoy means that you're likely to do a lot more of it, and doing more of movement can only be a good thing, up to a point, obviously. And so I would just recommend, you know, finding a sport that you enjoy. If you enjoy heavy lifting, great, do it. If you enjoy cardio, great, do it. Just try and incorporate like lots of different things, but don't force yourself to go down a route that you are not enjoying, because it does not lead to long-term results. Right, I think that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. A bunch of cats have just walked into the room, so I might have to go and like shove them out again. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I've probably missed some things out, but these are sort of the top tips that I use for my fat loss in the summer, and hopefully they can help you too. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah! Bye!